So I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and I just want to show you guys how I make my thumbnails. I know they aren't like super complex or anything, but I think it'd just be fun to kind of sit back and relax and just have you guys watch me make my thumbnails. I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process, obviously, but I have the lights just on the LEDs. I don't have, you know, big orange lights like this. I just have it like this, and I'll let the lighting go back to normal. And I just wanted to kind of show you guys because I'm always interested. Everybody kind of has a different style of making their thumbnails, and at the start of this year I kind of like developed my own style, at least one that came up in my head. I know people have probably done it before, and they're all very similar. Every movie YouTuber, everything like that, their thumbnails are very similar. But this is just how I make my thumbnails for my reviews or reactions, anything like that. But I'm gonna use the example of my Loki episode 4 review. Now this is filmed on Tuesday night, so don't worry, I don't know any spoilers like that, and I'm just gonna kind of take you through a step-by-step process of how I make it, and because those typically look similar every single week. I still haven't seen the episode, although I expect I'm gonna love it, so let's just jump into it. So I use Photoshop for my thumbnails. I think I've said that before. If you read the description of my videos, I have it all listed in there. I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos and Adobe Audition to get the audio from this microphone. Sorry if that sounded bad. And basically what I do, I just go into create new. This is stuff that you've probably seen before. Create new. It's going to take a bit to load because my computer is sharing the screen. And then 1920 by 1080, and then I set the resolution to 350. I press create, and then it'll just open this thing. This is just you can just set it to that. That doesn't really matter. And then you go into Chrome, and I will look up Loki poster. That's all it is. And then you just kind of, I look for them. Some people use the same one every single week. I like to use different ones. So I've used this poster, and this one, but I know there were some new ones released like this one. So I want to use this one because it is the Timekeepers. So I'm just going to copy it, bring it into Photoshop, click on Photoshop, and then press, I'm using a Mac, so Command V, and then it just pastes it in, and then Command T to move it around. I move it around to here, and then it sounds so different explaining it, and then I just make it fill, like so it just snaps straight into it, you know, just like that, and you'll see the little purple line there. I'll do the same here, and then I'll move it over, make sure it's on the side. And then what I do is that I would find a kind of screenshot from that episode. There isn't anything released yet, so I guess I'll just have to kind of find a random one, I guess. This is the one part I didn't think through. I'm just going to use this image here. I just scroll down and found it, and you know, this part doesn't really matter all that much. You just paste it in, you know, Command V, or if you're on, I think Windows, it's Control V if I remember correctly. I make it full screen here, and I actually, what I do, and then I bring down the layers here. What I like to name it is I just name it back, and then this one is poster, obviously. And then I move these to where these two are both in frame. Again, this doesn't really matter. Then I go into filter, blur, Gaussian blur, or whatever you want to call it, and then I either set it as 7 or 10. I'll set it as 10 because why not? I press OK here, and then I go to the poster here, I double click on it, and then I click outer glow, and this is just kind of the settings I have it at, I guess. You can just pause the video and look at that, and then depending on it, sometimes I mostly like to go down to this other drop shadow thing that I made here. Again, those are the settings. I think they're pretty basic. Again, nothing special. This thumbnail is nothing special. And then I just go into where I have a bunch of my thumbnail pictures saved. So go into Finder, and then I go into this thing that's just called Me. And as you can see, I have all these very stupid thumbnail pictures. And I just I take them all on certain days. So if I do one, then I do a bunch of faces for the same one. And yes, they're very stupid. And then I find one that looks like it'll work and that I haven't used before, because sometimes I do use the same one, but I never mean to. So I'm just going to grab a very neutral one because, again, I don't fully know what I'm going to think of the episode. So there's just this. Again, this is, you know, you know what it's like. And then what I do is I go over here, or I press W, so quick selection tool. I click here, and then I make it just 3, and basically this just selects everything that looks like, and then I drag it across. So just go like this. Gotta get rid of that. You just press up here, That's just the door handle. Yes, I don't even have a green screen. I just use my closet door, which sits out of frame just there. And then basically what I do is I just kind of go around and I just highlight everything on my body. It is being, or on my face, and it is being glitchy just because it is screen recording with OBS right now, if you are wondering. And it's not normally this glitchy. Normally it's a lot smoother than this, but I understand. So we have it like this, and then the trick, as I showed before, is you just go to here and then you zoom in, and because it looks at all the pixels that are the same, because if you know how Photoshop works, you know, you zoom in a ton, they're all pixels like that, and you kind of get an idea for it. And what I like to do is, if my hair is sticking out like this, there's a little trick. I just kind of cut across it, and I'm just like, oh well, you know, it's much easier if it isn't sticking out like that. So if my hair looks weird, and then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna basically do the same, as my computer is now going crazy because of this. And then what I like to do is then I go into select and mask, I click this, and I go into feather right here, I click on it and I press 7. And then that gives it this outer glow that you see. I used to do it differently. What I used to do, I'm just gonna make this, I'll make a new copy and then just hide this. What I used to do is just just select it, and then there wasn't any of this outer glow on it, and it was just like a very there was no feather basically. So it was just like this very rough cut around as I'm moving it by accident. And then I would go on it and I double click on it if it'll let me, and then I press this outer glow, and then it would give it, so say if I wanted white, I'd go like this, and then it'd give it more. So I easily could do that, but I don't really find a point to that if there is already a little one here. And then what I do from here is that I go in and I touch it up a little bit, because there are obviously some things that needs to be fixed a bit, or at least what I think needs to be fixed a bit. And then I just name this one me, and then I drag the poster above, and then I'm gonna just kind of go over here. I'm gonna press this, zoom in a bunch. As you can see, this is just the settings that this is on right now. And then I'm going to zoom in here and just kind of take this off. And this is a thing that could take a little bit. So you just kind of go around, look for the edges, and some of them work. Like, I like how there is this white outer glow, so that's what I kind of like about my closet. Although, because you can't see much of it on this side, I'm going to take a little bit off of it. Just here, like just a bit, just because it'll match better, because down here there isn't really that much. So I'll just, you know, quickly kind of fly through this. Again, you could be as detailed as you want, and again, I don't recommend going in and copying this exact format, although I'm not going to fully say it's mine, because it's kind of variations of other ones I've used in the past. You kind of go along there, and then this side is fine because it is like this all the way through. So as you can see, it kind of looks better, but down here there is a little bit too much of that background, and here I just like to kind of make it more smoother kind of way. So that does mean cutting off some of this white, as I said. That is just honestly just the closet behind. There is no outer glow anymore like I used to, but it's just an easier way to make my thumbnails, and I kind of angle it in a way. Like, I cut off the angle a bit to move it up to here, and it looks a little weird here, so I'm just gonna fully just cut it off to here. And yes, this may seem complicated, and maybe it's just the way I work, because sometimes when I'm editing them it's very weird, or I just contemplate them a lot. But right now what I would do is I'd kind of just go like this and just kind of move my finger back and forth, okay, just like this, and just cut off a little bit of the outside, just not too much, but just like enough to make it look more realistic and not like there are still parts here. So you kind of get rid of most of that, and then as I did before, you kind of just blend it a little bit. And yes, it is kind of like a drawing, although I'm not at all an artist. I just pressed Command 0 there, which just zoomed out all the way. And as you can see, again, it's not the best. There are definitely some parts of it that need to be improved a bit, and I'm just gonna kind of, you know, cut around it like this, make it look more like my hair, and kind of go up here and just do the same, just to the part where it looks more natural in a way. And then as you go out here, we're almost done, don't worry, the video's almost over. and then you kind of, yeah, you just kind of smooth that out there. So you have this, and then you can see again, there's still the white there, but I think it's fine. That's really just me focusing in on it, and again, little things that I find I like to fix with my hair up here. It kind of got a little bit too much there, so I fixed it to here. This is just what we've got so far. We have this, but obviously we are missing a key aspect, and that is just the review thing. So I just go into my documents here where I have review saved, and then this is just, you know, one of the texts I have, one of the Adobe fonts, and then, you know, I just resize it, and my computer's going absolutely crazy. That's what happens when you make videos like this on a MacBook. And then you kind of just resize it, everything, and you go over, you know, go like this, go down. And this is just a part where you just mess around. I just mess around a bunch, just try to fit it on to where my body is here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like, again, it goes out a little bit here. So this is just me trying to like perfect it. And then you have this, and then all we need to do is just add one little thing. So I go like this, I go into text, I just press the T here, or you could go over here. I have it to this setting right now. This is what I write, the little thing that you'll see, and then the Orgoven or whatever that is, that's just the font of the review thing, or if it says reaction, it's anything like that. When we click on this font, I'm going to go into just a green, just because, you know, it's Loki, and that's the color I'm most associated with, and then I just type episode 4, and then I press check mark. I'm just gonna move that up, it doesn't really matter. Then I press stroke, which is just, it adds this little, you know, black mark around it, and it's set to 5, I think, right now. That's just the settings. It's pretty basic. And then I just add a little bit of outer glow, but I am just gonna fix the color to black here. Go over to okay, and then this is kind of just totally up to you. I like to set it to where it goes from E to E, or like the second letter in and the second last letter, so like this almost, but since it is like italic, it's on a slant. It all just depends on what you want. And then I'm gonna put it a bit down. I'm actually going to add a little bit more of this, of this drop shadow or outer glow, just so it puts a little bit more, obviously that's what that means. And then I'm going to put it under the review thing right there, because there isn't much that goes kind of above it. And then I just shrink it again so it doesn't kind of cross over on my body here. And then you just readjust it a lot. That's all you have to do. You just, you know, go like this, you just adjust it down, and it's just to whatever your liking is. It's kind of fine. Does it go a little bit out? Yeah, whatever. But you kind of have this. You could do that, or you could do it like this. Whatever you prefer. I kind of prefer it like this, although it doesn't really matter. Again, in the end, it's just a thumbnail. And this is kind of just the end result. I'm going to go and find my last Loki one. So we just go into here, and then I search back because I do have them all saved. So this was just my last Loki thumbnail, and as you can see, it's just pretty basic. There's nothing really to it. Obviously, this is a screenshot from the last episode, the very ending here, although this one will now be from either the first or second episode there. It doesn't really matter. But as you can see, it's pretty basic. You just have the poster, you have the little bit of the outer glow or whatever drop shadow, you have the review, you have me cut out making some stupid face, and then you have the episode 3, or episode number, and then just the background that is blurred. And that is how you make a thumbnail, just like I do. This is how I make it for anything that is like movie related or TV related. Album or like song reactions are basically the same thing, except obviously it is shaped differently. It isn't a poster like this, it's more of a square, but again, it does kind of work the same way. And I put the first time listening, where I put the episode 4 here, and that is how you make a thumbnail like I do. If you want to kind of make one like I would, and then DM it to me on Instagram or Twitter or anything, I would find that pretty funny. I think it'd be pretty cool. And if you'd like to tell me your favorite thumbnail that I've made, it's just a random question, it might get a lively discussion going in the comments down below. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.